welcome to the last live stream from a tractor cab for the year. I would like to start this message off by saying Michigan sucks. And with that said, we're in the last field. We're just getting started with the last field, but we are in the last field of the year for Ripper. And finally we're getting here. It's really not late. It just feels like it since it's been so long since we finished harvest. But no, we're in good shape. We're gonna wrap this one up here later tonight before it freezes hard later this week. So I assume you can all hear me, see me. All is good. Good afternoon from San Diego, California. Hello. Actually get to catch a live from the very beginning. This is not normal. Yeah, well, that's what a little warning will do for you, right? I actually made it. Said I was going to do it at 4 o'clock and did, so. There we go. Is the tile project getting done? Yes, tile project is getting done. I haven't really been up there around to be able to see it. When I drove past the field on Sunday, day before yesterday, Sunday morning, they were a little over halfway. The west half and a main that went into a catch basin along the main road there, and they had all the laterals tied into that, and then the east side of that farm breaks the opposite direction, so they had to run another main to a different spot, and they had the main in but had not yet run the laterals. So I suppose that field is the exception to this whole we're done with tillage thing. Obviously we've got those tile lines we're going to have to do something with. I have a feeling they might get left until spring, though. That would be my guess if I had to guess, but we'll see if Dad decides to do something different. Good afternoon from South Carolina. Hello. Can hear you good. South Texas. Arkansas. More from a farmer in Denmark. How's the 9R holding up? Have not had a single code today. So if you watched this morning's video, you know we had little issues yesterday, but nothing really major. Once we got a wire harness kind of fixed, I'll say fixed, temporarily fixed. We didn't have any other issues with that. It has not tried to do a regen today because we did one sort of towards the end of yesterday. So yeah, the tractor's doing exactly what it's supposed to, running exactly like it's supposed to, and we've had no issues. We're getting closer. That sun, that is going to be a problem. I might have to move you guys. I can't look into that. All right, let's do this. I don't know if I want to put you up front, but we might have to for a little while. That for right now. I missed what's going on with the bins down to Berkey. You're going to do some bin upgrades down there. Yeah, you have to go back to one of the last harvest videos. We're finishing up down Berkey there, but the plan is to take the 3 older small bins out and replace them with a couple of slightly bigger ones, taller ones, so we can get a little more storage capacity. Just make some upgrades. Make things a little nicer to use. We have not pulled the trigger on that project yet, but we did get some quotes around and we're trying to decide how exactly we want to proceed with it. So, but yeah, that's kind of the idea of the project for next year. How much does good farmland sell for? How much does good farmland sell for Breaker in Michigan, Ohio? I assume you'd be better in Michigan or Ohio there. It varies drastically and it varies quickly depending on where we're at. Like where we're at right here in Berkey, this ground's probably worth a minimum $10,000 an acre and potentially more because we have developmental pressure from Toledo right here, right? I mean, the one field we were in yesterday is bordered by a subdivision. One of the fields that we have down here, the landlord has lotted off for sale for, when you do the math, it's like $15,000 to $17,000 an acre for the lots. More power to them if they can sell it. He's had it for sale for like 5 years and sold 2 lots, so it's not like they're selling really fast, but that's what it is. There's another farm, not one of ours, but neighboring, next to some ground that we already farm, that I hear is for sale, that they're trying to lot it off, and they want like $1.6 million for a 40-acre piece. It's not going to happen, but good luck. More power to you, right? So, but you go back to Waldron, closer to home, and ground's not worth that much. Not as much anyway. We paid a little over $7,500 for a farm last fall. I haven't seen anything sell recently to know if it's changed much. There is an auction coming up in about 2 weeks that borders some stuff that we're farming, but it's some of the farthest away from us, so it's probably not something we're looking at. But it'll give us an idea what our ground may be worth or closer to it. So we'll see. I would say 7 to 8 catches a lot of it. The ground drops off considerably as you go north from our place up into Michigan. It just depends on how far north you go. But you get closer to 6,000 an acre as you go 10 miles north. Some maybe less than that, but then it's not as much tillable, it's just not as productive. Anyway, vertical tilling last of our corn stalks here south of Grand Rapids. Nice. Phil finished up ours yesterday with that disc, so yeah, this sun, man, that is in the wrong spot, isn't it? Hello from Anderson, South Carolina. And NH3 on in north central Iowa. Yeah, I talked to Anna earlier today. She said that all her retailers were really busy putting fall fertilizer on, doing anhydrous. So we don't do any of that here. Nobody does fall anhydrous. Doing some wedge rows on the field, just getting started. Alright. What do you have as a corn planter upgrades planned? Are you going to do the G5 monitor upgrade kit for the 8RX? Planter upgrades. So I have a solution for my in-furrow fertilizer problem that we've been having that we'll talk about sometime this winter, but I've got a better delivery system for that. Other than that, I don't know if we're going to do a lot. I would really like to put a better monitoring system on for my 2x2x2 fertilizer. We have some like float balls, busy gauges, or red balls, or whatever they are on the wings right now, and the fertilizer that I've been using is pretty black. You can't see them at all. They're not real good. So some kind of an electronic monitoring system for that would be something we will look at. G5 monitor upgrade for the 8RX. I'm going to say probably not. I'll have to look into that. I don't know what it costs to change the armrest monitor. It'd be kind of nice, but not super necessary. What's more likely is that we get another one of those G5 Essentials kits or something like that, and like this 4240 that we have in this tractor could get upgraded. Or the sprayer, or the one that's in the 8430 where we're still running a 2630 and we replace another one of those. And I'm thinking about making the jump from radio RTK to SF RTK, Starfire RTK. I don't know if we'll do that this year or not, but something I've been thinking about. I kind of feel like it's better to get rid of some of this older equipment while it's still worth something than wait until it is totally obsolete and totally worthless. So if I can sell some of it and finance some of the upgrades or pay for the upgrades, then it kind of makes sense, right? Did you guys know that Michigan still sucks? It's football. If you don't know, it's football. The Buckeyes played this weekend. Go Bucks. I don't have my Ohio State stuff on today. I gotta save it for later in the week. I've only got 2 sweatshirts. I have one for Saturday and I have one for Friday when my brother-in-law's here. Sparties, however, they do play basketball tonight. Got a win in Maui last night, and hopefully get another one tonight. Yes, I'm a Spartan fan and a Buckeye fan. It's hard to explain. No, it's not hard to explain. My dad and 7 of my aunts and uncles went to Ohio State. I grew up a big Ohio State fan. We lived in Michigan. I went to Michigan State. I'm a Sparty, but you don't just not cheer for the team you grew up cheering for 18 years because you go to another school, especially when the one you used to cheer for or started with is better at everything, at least football. What it means is nobody hates that other school up there more than I do. Okay, where are we at? Oh yeah, there we go, football. Congrats on your Buckeyes for beating the fire out of my Hoosiers. Yeah, I was hoping for a closer game, but that's what it is. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. I see that super chat there. We'll get to it, so thank you, whoever gave that, but we will get to it. How's the wheat looking? The wheat looks fantastic. Looks really good. Like, stand is great. Got good early growth. It sat a little while in dry dirt because we were so dry this fall. I was a little concerned about it. But for the most part, it looks really good, especially the earlier planted wheat. Later stuff, it's a little bit thinner, or just not as much growth on it. But right now, we're set up to have a really good wheat crop. So that's encouraging. Let's start running with this catch basin. Oh yeah, we got it. Go. Tight turn here in the corner. Okay. If you would replace the 9R, would you consider one over 700 to get away from the depth? No, I would not. We don't need a 700 horsepower tractor, and I'm not paying $1 million just so I don't have depth. Like, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. And they still have emission stuff on it. Just because they don't have depth doesn't mean they don't. Like that, those tractors would be almost identical to what I'm driving now. They've got a particulate filter and EGR valve. They just don't have a depth system. Like, that's not, I'm pretty sure, I guess. I need to look that up. But I'm pretty sure that they're not emissions components free. They just don't burn DEF. Elkford, BC, 3 hours south of Banff. We also had 20 inches of snow here in the last week, so getting that tillage done. Winter is close. Yeah, wow. So it is predicted to get really cold the end of the week and all through next week. Like, we're supposed to be mid to high 20s for highs from about Friday on for the foreseeable future. So it is about to freeze. It's going to freeze hard, and we better get everything winterized before that. So we got some water in the tanks down here in Berkey that's going to have to get drained out tomorrow if we don't get it used up. So, yeah. That's some more fertilizer spreader questions. All right. Last time I asked you about the weight limit while going down the roads, you answered from a legal perspective. I mean, the limit of the machine. Did I answer from a legal perspective? The limits on the machine, like the axles and the weight ratings on the machine, is 14 tons. I think we could have ordered it with some heavier axles. We didn't, so that's what they're rated at. I had more than that in it a couple of times. I mean, the one time I had it up to almost 40,000 pounds, but we weren't really going down the road, so I don't know. That's what it's rated for. They don't really put gross vehicle weight ratings on stuff like they do on trailers. What are you hearing in tractor-wise? Well, we're driving our 9510R, and we're pulling our 2730 dipper. Is Dad feeling better? I haven't talked to him a lot the last couple of days because I've been down here. I think he was getting a little better, but I don't really know. Give some time next winter. Can you do an equipment farm tour? Just a reminder for old new subscribers. Yeah, I haven't thought about that. Well, you do them every once in a while, but it's been a while since we've done that. Maybe we'll do a spring one towards spring equipment. What's your opinion on Gleaner combines? I've never run a Gleaner combine. I don't have any experience in a Gleaner combine. I hear all the Gleaner combine jokes. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they work great. Brian seemed to like his when they had it. I don't know. The auger design is weird. I don't know if I like that, but I'm sure they work fine. I also don't like how the chopper, the material comes out on one side on the back, and then you got to try and spread it even. I don't know. It seems like that would be difficult to do. But I'm sure they work. Hi from Calgary. Hello, David. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat. Overall, are you happy with all your trials? Some of my trials worked, some of them didn't. And by worked, I mean, well, a couple of things. Some of them we had bad data that didn't get a good result on. So those ones, no, I'm not real happy with. Some of them we got positive results. Some of them we saw no results. So you get a little bit of both. Overall, yeah, we learned. And that's the idea with trials. It's not, I don't do trials so that every one of them is successful and provides an ROI. I do them to learn what does and what doesn't. And if I don't have some that don't, that means I'm not pushing the boundaries and the limits far enough. So, yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with stuff. Most of the time, I think we got good data. There was a couple of them that we didn't for whatever reason. A couple of them I was supposed to be, I was trialing my source product and was supposed to do some phosphorus reduction trials. Well, that was with dry broadcast fertilizer. The problem was I didn't have a spreader to do the broadcast last year, and my retailer that did it for me never got me the maps. So if I don't have an application map, I can't track where the rate changes were to be able to know, you know, was the trial successful or not. That's frustrating for me. But outside of that, yeah, we got a lot of good information. We'll go through it sometime. Do you have to run tractor at PTO speed to run hydraulic pump, or can you throttle down? You can throttle down some. It depends on how fast you need the spinner speed going. Like when we're doing fertilizer, you've got to have the tractor revved up high enough to get enough PTO or oil flow through the PTO pump to run the spinners up to speed. If you idle it down, it gives a low speed warning. But no, you could run it at 15 to 1800 RPM just fine. I usually was running it fairly wide open though. What do you use for keeping your books? We use QuickBooks. I don't do a lot of it. I do my own stuff for my seed business and my businesses, but I don't do the farm books. I have an uncle who's a retired CPA who has done them for years and years. Now he's back and forth between here and Florida. So Phil's taking over a lot of the data entry side of stuff at least, and doing a lot of that. But yeah, we use QuickBooks. We unfortunately had to migrate from the desktop version to online about 2 years ago. I'm not a big fan of that, but it is what it is. For my seed business, this is super unprofessional, right? But for my seed business, I still use QuickBooks 2013 because it's on my computer and I don't have to pay for it. And it's free now. So that's what I use there. Brayson's question. What's your favorite YouTube channel? Brayson is my son. Well, Borderview Farms, of course, Brayson. What's yours? Be careful how you answer. Now, my favorite other farm YouTubers are Zach, Millennial Farmer, and Brian Brown. I don't miss any of their videos. And there's a bunch of other ones that I watch, some or most or occasionally. Too many to really name without leaving somebody out. But there's a lot of really good ag YouTubers out there. Also watch some non-ag YouTube stuff every now and then. I don't know. It changes. The YouTube algorithm's about like the TikTok algorithm in that for about 3 days I'll get all of these type of videos, and then all of a sudden it changes and I get something different. That's okay. 9510R 2012 or 11 model. Oh, this is a 14 model tractor, but yeah, thank you. the hydraulic demand too high? You couldn't run with tractor hydraulics. No, there was the option to order it for running off the tractor hydraulics. I don't remember what the demand was and the numbers that you had to have to be able to do that. But they didn't recommend it. They sort of recommended the PTO side. One, it's easier, in my opinion, it's easier to hook everything up. It's simpler. And two, it works better with their systems. I don't know. It would probably be fine. But there was a reason that they basically said you should just do the PTO. Don't worry about doing tractor hydraulics, even though that was an option. I think it was a fairly high demand on how much oil flow you had to have. I'm sure that our modern tractors would run it, but this is just simpler, and we don't have to worry about which tractor we pull it with. Like I said, we might be able to hook it up behind the 7520 and pull it with that in the spring if we're short a tractor. I don't know that that would have the hydraulics to run it, so. The other brand of spreader that we were looking at was hydraulic driven off the tractor. It did not have a PTO. In which vehicle you are? John Deere 9510R. OH. Get your crap off me. Look at this. You can't be putting that stuff on here. I'm going to, I can't. Can I? Yeah, we can. Put user in timeout. You're in a 10-second timeout. Next time it's going to be more. Is the 9R still giving you a fit? Today we've been in good shape. I have not had a single code pop up today. Knock on whatever wood we can find in the whole cab here, but we're getting better. We're getting closer. We're doing okay. Are you going to spread any elemental sulfur? I may have asked this before, but I can't remember. Probably not any elemental sulfur. I like the idea of this gypsum for spreading sulfur. The other sulfur source we may use in dry form is AMS, ammonium sulfate, not sulfate. But that would be a spring spread kind of thing. You're planning to do Anderson products again next year? Yes, I need to sit down with them and talk about a plan and figure out what we want to do, what they want to do. But yes, I am planning on using their stuff again, at least from a starter perspective. I will probably use some foliar products again next year. In fact, I know I will because I got a whole bunch left in the barn from this year that didn't get used up. But I'm not seeing a lot of results from my foliar programs, and it's getting pretty hard to spend that money. I'm glad I haven't done it on a large scale, but I don't know if I can keep spreading money on foliar products. In my mind, it's better to spend it on fungicides or dry fertilizer and just broadcast more. Like, what's going to happen is we bought this dry fertilizer spreader and we're just going to be like, huh, stuff's cheap now. Let's just spread it. Screw it. Let's build. Let's just go. And I can see reallocating dollars from a foliar program to a dry spread program and having better results. Chatham, Ontario. When will you go to a 12-row corn head? We have an 8 on our 780 also. Well, I don't know. We'll go to it when it makes the most sense for our operation. It's slightly possible that it happens before harvest next year. The most likely time frame is when we decide to upgrade combines again. But it could be 10 years from now. I don't really know. We don't have imminent plans to go to a 12-row, but I'm sure at some point it will happen. I just don't know when. Call ready for the monitoring system. I don't think they do liquid monitoring. They're a dry company. They do dry fertilizer stuff. And also not anywhere close to me. I know you guys see a lot of these companies and stuff on some of the other major YouTube channels, but they're in Minnesota or the Dakotas or Montana, and a lot of them don't do business here, or they're just not close, or don't have dealers or whatever. I get the same thing with Farm Rescue. Like, I had never heard of Farm Rescue until I started watching Zach's videos. They're not in Ohio or Michigan. I guess they are in Indiana now, but it's not an organization that I had ever heard of. You know, Red E was one of those too. Like, they're not. I've never seen their stuff because they're heavily in the strip till and air seeder market, and where they're putting fertilizer down with their air seeders, and nobody does that here. So, yeah. Anyway, if weather allows, what's the earliest stage you would put nitrogen on with the rain? When would you ideally start putting on more N with the rain? Okay. Well, usually I need that nitrogen later in the season. I want it on tassel or earlier, but I'm putting a lot of nitrogen on with the planter and with the side dresser, and so I don't need to go earlier with my nitrogen through the irrigation water. The irrigation nitrogen is there to give me late season N, not early season. I can put early season N on a different way, more efficiently, or at least in higher quantities. Yeah. And so I don't know that putting it on earlier with the rain is any benefit. If anything, I should probably think about a later application. Did you see the holiday train? I did not. I had seen something about it a while ago and knew that it was coming around Thanksgiving. I didn't see it yesterday on Facebook or anywhere that it was coming yesterday. It comes through in the middle of the night now. I think they got tired of people getting too close to the tracks, and so they come through late in the middle of the night when they don't have as many people out there now. I don't know, but yeah, it was like 1:30 in the morning, I guess, when it came through yesterday. If you're wondering, Canadian Pacific Rail Company decorates the holiday train, and it comes through our area passing from Detroit to Chicago. On these ends. But it's not actually Canadian Pacific track that it's on, so it's not, there's no official stop or anything like that when it's coming through. Most of the time they leave the lights on, but sometimes they shut them off, I think. I don't know. Whatever. If you're curious, go way back in my videos, like sort them from the earliest to the latest instead of latest to the earliest, and you'll find a pretty cool video I did a long time ago from the drone of that holiday train. It was a good one. Go Vols. I won't argue with your Vols. My sister has a master's degree from Tennessee, so we're okay with them. Can that ripper have more shanks added to go wider? If you got a bigger tractor, would you just buy a new ripper or pull faster? This one, I don't think you can just add on, because the wings are totally different. If you went to an 11 shank, you would want the shanks to actually fold up, where on this they don't. Only the disc gang and the rolling basket fold. So no, you could not go wider with a 9 shank, or can't just make it wider. We would probably just pull this one faster and easier and maybe deeper if we had a bigger tractor. I don't know that we would get a bigger one, at least not right away. If you went big enough, you could go to an 11 shank, but that you're talking over a 600 horse tractor to be able to do that. So, you know, we could go to a 570R and just pull it better, but you wouldn't be able to pull a bigger one, I don't think. How's the drone licensing coming? Pretty slow. We got another one getting a timeout. 10-second timeout. The next one you get more. Are you and the wife going for kid number 4 soon? Definitely not. We're happy. Does this mean harvest and tillage are done before Thanksgiving? It does. It does mean that. That's pretty rare, but yeah, we're going to wrap it up both before Thanksgiving. I don't know the last time we've had tillage done before Thanksgiving. Can't wait for Cooking with Nathan and Lisa episodes. Yeah, we're going to get a Cooking with Nathan, or Borderview Farms holiday smoking episode here. So if you missed the last live stream, I talked about it a little bit, and I'll throw it in here now. But our family Thanksgiving on my parents' side is actually going to be on Friday, because when everybody's schedule's lined up to get them here. And I've been tasked with cooking the turkey. Sounds like we're cooking 2 turkeys. Two smallers is better than 1 bigger one. I gotta figure out how we're gonna do that. I know how we're gonna do one, I've got to figure out the other one. But yeah. So we're gonna do that. But most everybody's gonna be here on Thanksgiving evening, and I have volunteered to cook a brisket for that, because I had a brisket in the freezer that's been there for a while. I'm like, I should cook that. I need people here to eat it, and this is when I have people. So I asked if you guys wanted to see a cooking episode. This is gonna be totally different, and I don't know when exactly I'll get it published. I'll probably just do one video for both things. It probably will be stupid long because that's how I do things. But yeah, it'll be something different. It'll be fun. Not that I know what I'm doing, but I've done okay. All right, Ryland's question. Who is your favorite in our family? Well, I am, of course. I'm my own favorite. If you're gonna make me choose, I'm gonna pick myself, right? I don't pick favorites, Ryland. And if I do, it's your mom. That's the right answer, right? Isn't that the right answer? I'm pretty sure that's the right answer. Okay. What do you spray on wheats in the fall? Does or can it hurt double crop beans? Yeah, great question. So we have over the last 2 or 3 years gone to doing more and more of this fall spraying for our wheat herbicide. And the reason that we are doing that is because of exactly that, double crop soybeans. So we've been using 2 different herbicides in the spring. One of them is this MCPA. MCPA is a very mild 2,4-D derivative that helps kill some broadleaves, but it's not super effective, and we can't ever use very high rates because of the clover that we frost seed. So the only place that we use that MCPA is where we are frost seeding clover, that cover crop, into our wheat because we don't want to kill that clover. The other herbicide that we've used in the spring is called Talinor, and it is a very effective herbicide in our opinion. It's done a great job from a weed control perspective. The problem with Talinor is I think it has a 9-month plant back restriction to soybeans. And so we can't spray it in April and then plant double crop beans in July. It probably won't let the beans grow, or it could hurt the beans from germinating and growing and stunt them. Plus, it's just flat out off label, so you can't do it. However, if we can spray that in September or early enough in October, that 9-month window expires before we plant double crop beans in July. And so we like to spray that fall Talinor in the fall. It's labeled for it. And it works really, really well. All of this ground in Berkey here was sprayed with Talinor last fall because we knew we were going to double crop beans to it, and we had almost 0 weed trouble down here whatsoever. So yeah, really, really like that program. Did it again this year. We actually sprayed all of the wheat with Talinor this fall, not because we're going to double crop beans in all of them, but because the weed control is so much better than what we've had with that MCPA and the clover. So we're going to have to figure something else out for cover crop next year. Clover is not an option. You must be down south. I don't know how far south, but I'm in Ohio. But Michigan is only about a half a mile north of us here. Maybe 3/4 of a mile, so I'm not too far south. Would you consider the new combine upgrades like cameras and cross auger for your machine, or just wait for the next combine? Well, I have cameras, so I don't know what cameras to upgrade. I would consider the cross auger shutoffs. I was going to talk to the dealer and get a price on that, figure out what it costs. The other one I looked at and saw that they had is a LED upgrade kit, or light upgrade kit, that I would like to look at and see what that would cost. So yeah, we might do some upgrades and that kind of stuff on some equipment this year. 32 degrees here in northern Iowa. Okay, well, you're on the other side of the cold front. That's coming. We're just a day or two away from it. It's about 40 degrees outside, I think. It's not real warm, but it's not super cold. 14,000 pound axles, 2 axles, 28,000 pounds. So yeah, you got a full load. Yes. 14 tons on the spreader, yes. Thanks, Jeremy. Rylan says he'll do a farm equipment tour video. Perfect! Rylan can give you the farm equipment tour video. Thanks, bud. I'm from Belgium. Evening from Croatia. Burn! Don't hit the fuel trailer. There's the fuel trailer, right there. I was looking at that fuel trailer this morning. I brought fuel down here. We've had it for 2 seasons now. Pretty well done with it. 2 full years. We've put 17,000 gallons of fuel through that thing. That's insane. I had no idea we had done that much. All right, where are we at on the chat? Way back up here. Oh, right there. Have you seen a yield difference between XtendFlex and Enlist soybeans? A lot of guys have been switching back to XtendFlex here in southeast South Dakota. All right, so I do not believe that there is a difference from the trait platform standpoint. I do believe there are varietal differences. A year ago in my soybean plot, 2023, I had 6 XtendFlex varieties of the 15 total. They were all in the top 8 places. There was only 2 Enlist varieties that were placed in the top 8. And so I went and planted a bunch of XtendFlex beans this year. And they all did pretty well, but those 2 Enlist beans, plus one other one that was in the plot or whatever, the 2 twos, were my best beans this year. Or well, yeah, I mean the 130 XtendFlex was the best, where we had it planted in March, and then it was the 2 twos and the 2 sixes, and it's like, it's back and forth. So I fully believe that it is variety dependent and not trait platform dependent. I am switching back to more Enlist beans for next year, but still have, I think, 2 XtendFlex varieties that we're going to plant some of because they're good. Our lineup flipped a little bit this year. We got rid of some of the old XtendFlex numbers that had been really good for me, and the ones that I feel like are better coming forward have been the Enlist varieties. So I don't think it's a trade platform thing. I think it is totally a variety thing within your seed company's lineup, whether it's they have both options or one company's lineup is jumping ahead of another or whatever. That's how I've handled it. 3 things you'll definitely do in 25 you did in 24, 3 things you'll stop doing in 25 you did in 23, 24. Boy, I don't know. Three things that I will definitely continue doing. I mean, we're going to continue doing fungicide on corn. We're going to continue doing the V5 fungicide. We're going to continue doing a lot of the things that we've proved over the course of a long term that works. I will continue to, weather permitting, plant beans in March. But a lot of that stuff's not something we did new in 24. And then as far as things that we won't keep doing, I mean, I'm backing off on the foliar fertilizer, foliar feed stuff. We're gonna do some things different with the way we irrigate the rain field, just as far as how we plant it, field layout, timing of the irrigation, or the nitrogen, the irrigation, all of that kind of stuff. Not really different, just different years going to be different anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a great answer for that right off the top of my head, but that's a good question. Any current or planned mark projects? He's building a door for his barn, a walk-in door, swinging door. He didn't like the one that he had. It's a slider. He's replacing it with a swinging walk-in door. I don't know what else he's got going on. What's happening with the new bins? Well, we're still debating which way we want to go with the project, what all we want to do, but likely that we do a bin upgrade project down here to Berkey next summer, but that's going to be a while. I mean, the bins that we have there are still full, right? So we got to get them empty first of all, and then we got to tear them down, and then we got to tear the concrete out, and then we got to pour new concrete, and then we can build the bins. So that's a long-term project that won't start until spring at least. Once you're finished and it's quiet, any holiday plans? Thanksgiving holiday stuff. I mean, I got a lot of family coming in. Anna's here, they're getting in tonight, and then everybody else trickles in throughout the week. As far as the rest of the stuff, I mean, we got to start cleaning equipment up. We're getting behind on that. We got done with harvest early, and I have cleaned nothing up, basically. So that's kind of where we're at. Howdy from Canada. Oh, we're way behind. How are we doing? I'm doing good. Why don't you use a portion of this year's crop as seed for next year? Right, because it's illegal for one, and two, especially on the corn side, it won't grow as well. Corn is a hybrid. It has to have a male parent and a female parent that cross-pollinate. The offspring of that is the seed that we plant. If we planted the seed that we harvested, or the grain that we harvested this year, it would grow, but it would not grow well. It would not put on a good ear. Yields would be awful, and you don't want to do that. On the soybean side of stuff, technically they would grow, they would be just fine, but it is illegal. One, because of the genetic traits in the beans, the Roundup Ready, the Extend Flex, or the Enlist platform, they're patented, and you're not allowed to save that seed, and also because the varieties themselves are patented. So that's not something we can legally do, and we don't do it. Wheat, we actually can and do save wheat seed from year to year. We can't sell it to neighbors, we can't do anything like that, but we can save a portion of the crop that we grow, clean it, treat it, and plant it on our own farm for the following year, and we do that. We do buy some new wheat seed every year for new genetics and get better quality and whatever else, but it's not illegal to save it, so it happens. And the reason you can do it with wheat is because there's not the genetic traits in it. It doesn't have the patents like soybeans do. Boys playing basketball this winter. When are you going to dust off the coaching skills? I think they are playing basketball, but it's through a rec league in the bigger town in our county. It's not through our local town. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I kind of do miss coaching. I don't know if I have time for it, but I kind of would like to get back into it sometime. Probably as they continue to grow. Once they have a local team through our school, that's probably the point where I say, hey, I can help with this. Did you fluid film the spreader before starting? No, I didn't. I thought about doing it before we started spreading and then didn't get around to it. Wasn't sure if doing it beforehand would be a good idea anyway, because then it kind of makes it sticky, and I didn't want the fertilizer dust to stick any more than necessary. But we got it washed. I got my salt neutralizing stuff I need to get sprayed on it, and then we're going to fluid film the spreader now before we spray it, or store it. So yeah. Do you think the chicken juice starter would be a good starter for organic farmers? I mean, maybe, but why not just use the chicken litter? There's not really any nutrients in it. The analysis of it is terrible. I would find something better myself. Any plans for doing a complete overhaul of the corn head this winter? Yes. In fact, there are big plans for that. We got to get started on it sooner rather than later. But yeah, the corn head needs rebuilt. So hopefully we get started with that maybe next week or right after Thanksgiving here. It needs to happen. The goal is always to have the combine out of the shop before Christmas, or at least before the new year. And that shouldn't have been a problem this year, but the fact that we haven't started anything yet, it's kind of like, this might be a problem. You hear the Mexican weather report. Chilly today, hot tomorrows. Yeah, funny. That's a good one. Same with FBN, although I've seen FBN trucks trailing down M52. I have no idea where we're at. Thank you. How much do you pay for MAP and potash? I don't want to give out my exact numbers, but I bought MAP in the 750-ish a ton range. Potash was in the 350-ish a ton range. Is the dry spreader purchase kind of mean you've given up any interest in strip till? No, I still have interest in strip till, but yeah, those two things would overlap in how you're applying fertilizer. So I just recognize that going to widespread strip till is highly unlikely for a while. You asked me the reason your yields were so high was the rain, like all of our yields, or just that field? I mean, yeah, that rain made a huge difference in that field. That's not why the rest of our yields were good, though. Since Maddie and the boys are on, what are you getting them for Christmas? Yeah, we're not doing that. Have you thought about tuning that 9510R? I have not thought about tuning it. Whole family vacation planned again for you guys, or just the one you and Maddie have planned? Just the one Maddie and I have planned at the moment. Nothing for the whole family for now. We went to Kentucky this summer as a family, so, well, our family. I don't have anything big planned for the extended family at the moment. Any big deer in the fields? I haven't seen any for a while, but I don't see them as often down here in Berkey. Yeah, there's deer around. Somebody come and shoot them, please. All of them. If you traded the 9R, would you go to a 570 horsepower? Maybe. I mean, that's the debate, right? If you're going to trade, is this a kick the can down the road trade where we do a like trade where we go to like a 570R, a 9R 590, a 9R 540, a 9520R on tires where it's just a slight horsepower upgrade and you're still on tires, just not a couple years newer, but not higher hour, but not new. 2,000 hours, something that's a little bit better than what we've got, but maybe not exactly what we want because it's more reasonable and cheaper. Do you go to a 620 RX, a 570 RX, a 590 RX, a 640 RX, but those are stupid expensive, or to go new in that direction, and then you're getting the track upgrade, you're getting the horsepower upgrade. I don't know. The problem is how expensive all of that stuff is. And what's the equipment market doing? Is things going to continue to crash? What's our tractor worth? Is the price of it going to continue to crash? Do we fix it and just keep running it? I really don't know. With the bin rates planned, are you guys considering any of the fancier monitoring systems? Not really. I've seen some of that stuff. I don't know if I see a ton of value in it. I hear about the guys trying to add moisture back into beans by running the fans when the air's humid and stuff. That makes me pretty nervous. I'm sure it works, but the last thing I need is bins swelling up, beans spoiling because you get too much moisture in the bin. We tend to be an over-dry more than under-dry kind of people. And so I don't know. Probably one of the bins would be for beans, the other one would be corn. I really don't see the value of those monitoring systems for corn. The only thing would be maybe to put temperature cables in where we can, hook up a monitor and tell if there's any hot spots in the grain. We have that on 2 of our bins now, back up at Waldron, the big bin and one of the other ones. So, Arthur, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it very much. Trade that tractor, what would you trade it for? Yeah, we just talked about that. Brayson's next question. What's your favorite sport to play and watch? They can be different. So my favorite sport to play, Brayson, is basketball. My favorite sport to watch is football. Can't wait for shop videos. They're coming slowly, but they're coming. We smoke a lot of brisket on our farm too. Thanks, Arthur. You didn't have to do that twice, but thank you. Appreciate it. Australia, thank you. You listen to Barn Talk, the father and son out of Iowa. I have listened to them in the past, And then my Google Podcast platform went away, and I haven't added them to Spotify yet. I should probably look them up again. They do a fairly good job, but they also get on some rants, and sometimes they annoy me. But yeah, I don't know. I do listen to them. I know who you're talking about. Sure, you've already talked about this. But is the 9R running better? Any more codes? Yeah, been running good today. No codes on the tractor. Everything has been in pretty good shape. So 67 degrees in South Carolina. Nice. It's not bad today. The sun came out. It got a little windy, but when I stopped for lunch at 2 o'clock, it was 40, 45 degrees and sunny. That's not too bad. Not going to keep using chicken water. We are not going to keep using the chicken water. I have looked. Somebody texted me. I don't know what that was. I have looked at the results from that. That field's got an interesting pattern to it. It's not from the chicken water, though. It's one of the things I will show you in my results video that makes you question things a little bit. Like, how about that? So we'll see. But yeah, definitely not a break where the chicken water break application was. You've not cleaned up because Brock has not been around. Well, I mean, that doesn't help, but it's not because I need Brock to do the cleaning. It's because I've had to do a lot of other things because Brock's not here. Like, if Brock was here, he could have been sitting in this tractor, and I could have gotten other stuff done or whatever, and we could be getting some things cleaned up. So, yeah. Who makes the final decision on big purchases on the farm? We kind of all have to be on the same page, right? Like, we all have to be in agreement, all 3 or 4 of us, that it makes the most sense and this is what we're going to buy or upgrade. I have heavy influence as to what we get, but I don't get to decide if we get something. Not unilaterally. So, we'll see. We're pretty well set up where we need to be tax-wise through the end of the year, so I doubt we'll make any big purchases that aren't already planned or lined up between now and the end of the year. But after the first, if we are feeling like we're in decent financial position, we could do something. I just don't know what that could be. Did VT work get finished? Yes. Corn stalks are done. Any solar creeping into your area? There is some solar around. There was a big farm that went in 8 to 10 miles east of us here about 2 years ago. A couple thousand acres. There's a few smaller projects around. There's a bunch north up in Michigan, but not too much super imminent close. One local town has a farm by their drainage or wastewater lagoons that I hear is going to get solar panels, but that's like 40 acres or something. It's not a huge project. How's your dad feeling? I think he's getting a little better, but I haven't really seen him much the last couple of days. When is it time to replace the corn head? Or when it's time? Will you look at different make or only John Deere? I don't know. Probably only John Deere. Only because I don't know what other makes I would buy. I don't hear good things about Geringhoff heads. Dragcos have been out there, and I don't know if there's any dealers close, but they're kind of interesting. People I've seen running Capellos aren't super happy with them. I don't really know what else is out there or know the brands well enough to try anything else, and you got to have somebody that can service it and look at it. If the price was right, especially if it was not timed with the combine, like if we were going to go to a 12-row head now or in the next 2 years or 3 years before we go to get a new combine, that's more likely that we would go to a third-party corn head, especially on that front, since it doesn't require there's no, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say there's no computers on a corn head as far as learning a different system, but that's not entirely true because our row sense, the auto track row sense is run through those John Deere feelers, and I don't know how a third-party head plays nice with that or doesn't. I don't know about the header height sensing. I'm sure they've got solutions for those. I just don't know it because I've never been around it. So it would take some research before I was willing to go to a third-party corn head. When your dad was starting out, did he work off farm also while farming? Also, did you do any custom farming for others in the past? Yeah. So when Dad first got out of college, he worked for Brookside Labs, took soil tests and did feed sampling for farmers for a few years there. I don't know when he quit doing that exactly, but I think he did do it concurrently with farming briefly. Like he started in 78, 79, bought the farm in 80, or that was the first year we farmed, was in 80, and then maybe took soil samples for another 3 or 4 years after that, I would say, outside of doing our own. He also was a seed dealer there for a while. I don't know how much he ever actually sold, how, if he was ever really selling seed, or if it was mostly just himself and maybe a neighbor or two. But he was an AgriPro dealer, which happens to be in the lineage of what I sell now. My wheat is AgriPro branded wheat, so that was kind of a cool connection, full circle thing that I didn't know when I started selling for Global Harvest. But he did that up until, I believe, the early 90s. We also had pigs. When I went back through the 80s, we had pigs. Got out of that in the mid-90s. So, as far as custom farming, we did do some custom farming. I remember one neighbor in particular that we rented part of his farm and then custom farmed the rest of it for him until he sold out, and now we farm it all. So, did your Berkey rider come to see you this fall? He did, when we were shelling the corn around that house. Yes. Rode with Dad in the combine and me in the green cart for a while. Happy Thanksgiving. Everyone join the farm family. Subscribe. Best farm day. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate that. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button for me on this video. If you're not a subscriber, would appreciate it if you consider doing that. And yeah. Are you considering an auger fertilizer trailer? Not really. We don't have the need for a fertilizer tender trailer, really. At least not right now. We have much bigger need for fertilizer storage and more than just a semi-load's worth of storage. And most all of our fields, with the exception of the stuff here at Berkey, are close enough that we can do it in one trip with the spreader. And so it doesn't make much sense to have a big fertilizer tender when we can just run back to the farm and reload. And we're going to look into putting up a storage barn for dry fertilizer before we think about any kind of tendering equipment. A dump trailer for a semi is a possibility, but I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon either. What we might look into is a stainless conveyor to be able to load and pile fertilizer a little bit better. Has your dealer checked the turbo on your 9R? I'm betting that's your problem. Why would it be a turbo? Why would a turbo throw electrical codes? The dealer's done a lot of stuff. They've been through a lot of different things. Somebody suggested an ECU on today's video. We put 2 new ECUs on. It's done it with all of them. That's not the problem. We've replaced wire harnesses or bypassed wire harnesses. We've done the pressure sensors. We've done, about everything. We've done EGR valves. We've done EGR coolers. We've done about everything you can do short of the particulate filter, which shouldn't be causing the problem to start with. So, yeah, they're going to keep working on it. Any word on your F20 engine? Well, it's an F12, but no, I probably need to call that guy. We got another one going into timeout. Hey, did you guys know Michigan sucks? All right, you're in a 10-second timeout, Chris. Really amazes me how many acres y'all in a day cover with an 8-row header. Yeah, I mean, 100 acres a day is not impossible. 80-acre days are pretty normal. That's the thing, is that we cover ground with the combine. The combine is not the bottleneck in corn harvest. It's not. And so getting a bigger corn head doesn't really help us get anything more done. Hello from Ohio. Your seed customers like GHX switch so far? I think so. I think that they all like the concept and are still a little bit skeptical. And so we'll see how that plays out over the next few weeks here, or months, I guess, through the first year. after we get through this first year, I think it gets a lot easier. And people have really enjoyed being able to just talk about seed after harvest. And I've gotten some follow through and some commitments. I still got a few big accounts that are hanging out there that I don't have orders from yet, that I need to spend some more time on that. But hopefully they'll come through and everybody likes this change. So we'll see how the rest of it plays out. But so far, I think it's going okay. Do you make your prescription seeding maps solely based off of historical yield maps? Yes, I do. I take the last 3 years of whatever crop I'm making a map for and make a composite map and then turn it into zones, yield zones. And I'll tweak those zones year to year, but like last year it was anything 150 or below, 150 to 200, and then 200 plus yield zones. Next year I think we're going to have to up that. I think my yields have climbed so much in the last 5 years that 150 zone is not high enough. We're probably going to need to go like a 175 and under, 175 to 225, and then 225 plus, and push things accordingly. So yeah, that's a good problem to have, right? Are you getting a spray drone for Christmas? Before Uncle Sam don't rob your head purchases. Well, it won't be for Christmas, but I do intend to get a spray drone. Is in the plan. All right, we got a few intros to do here. We got one more sliver of point. We're up to the edge of the woods here. 15 acres into our last 65-acre field means we're down to 40 acres to go. About 3 hours, yeah, 3 or 4 hours. Probably 4 hours. Favorite Thanksgiving food, favorite holiday pie. Okay, so pie's the easy one. Apple pie would be my favorite. Apple and strawberry are my two pie of choice. But for fall, it's definitely apple pie. And then favorite Thanksgiving food. Mashed potatoes are really good. I mean, I'm a big fan of turkey. I like turkey. My in-laws don't eat turkey, so they make fillets when it's holiday time. Those are pretty dang good. It's not traditional Thanksgiving, but hey, we'll take it. My family makes a dish called Baker Rice. That's right, it's named after my family. And it's fantastic. It's an old family recipe passed down from my grandmother, who may or may not have gotten it off the Campbell soup can in the 50s. But whatever, we have claimed it, and it's awesome. So was Phil able to get the grain handling and dryer all cleaned up? He did get the dryer cleaned out. It didn't get near as dirty this year as normal. I don't know if that was the dry corn, lower humidity, the conditions, or what, but we didn't have a bunch of stuff up on top of it where it was all caked to the side like last year when we had to get the big air compressor and blow it off. So yeah, he got it emptied and dumped all of the chutes and doors and cleaned up around it. So yes, he did get that done. Finished soybeans today in West Tennessee. Wow, double crops? What are your thoughts on 9RT compared to 9RX? Honestly, I have never in my life driven a 2-track tractor, an RT. Never driven one, 8 or 9. So I have a hard time really comparing those. I gotta believe the RX is a much better tractor overall, but I don't think a 9RT would be that bad, or an 8RT. Let me not hit the truck over here. Hold on. If we were tractor shopping, and more so for row crop tractors, I would not be afraid of an 8RT over an 8RX. I mean, I think an 8RX is better, but I don't know if it's $100,000 better or $50,000 better. I don't know. I wouldn't be afraid of one if we found a deal on an 8RT. But in general, given the choice, money's not an object, yeah, I'm going to pick the RX on both 8s and 9s. I mean, the best RX doesn't come from a doctor, so if you want a shirt that says that, go to my website. Don't think any aftermarket header is better than John Deere. They've been making equipment for a long time, so they know how to make headers. My personal opinion. Yeah, I mean, they do know how to make headers, and we haven't had any real problems with ours. We've made some improvements to it and upgraded things. Our snapping rolls are aftermarket snapping rolls that I really like. That said, John Deere, when they made the 600 series heads, after like the 893 that we had when we went to a 608, that is a massive upgrade going to the 608C. It's a really nice head. It's done a great job. Well, it's got some wear on it, and it's time to do some rebuilding, some upgrading. Auto steer doesn't work because I'm not on a line. Speaking of your dad selling seed like you do, I would work up to 2 plants my dad had previously worked in. Really interesting feelings on doing this. Yeah. Where would you put the fertilizer barn? So it will go out back, kind of behind the bins to the north and west of our bin site. We have kind of a big lot back there now where we park a lot of our equipment, and we would just kind of put it on the north side there. We would leave that big open parking area there, and then leave the shed open to the south so that we can back equipment into it and park stuff in there when it doesn't have fertilizer in it. That's the idea and the intention. We could probably build a fertilizer barn a little bit cheaper or smaller than what we're considering, but this will be much more dual purpose, have more functionality for us to where we can use it for some equipment storage when it doesn't have fertilizer in it. Which, in talking to my fertilizer salesperson, it sounds like July is usually a pretty good time to bring dry fertilizer in, and so theoretically we would be able to store equipment inside all winter and have that barn empty, which would be good. What's the timeouts about? Anybody that says something promoting that team up north or schools that we don't appreciate, we put them in a 10-second timeout. And Michigan still sucks, in case you were wondering. Would you build a hoop Quonset hut like Brian Brown for fertilizer, or the 3rd acre shop he built? Well, the 3rd acre shop would be much nicer. That'd be awesome, but he's got dang near $1 million into that, I bet, so that's not going to happen for us anytime soon. I would just like to insulate the back half of ours, which I've been talking about for 5 years and have done nothing to make happen, so, you know, there's that. We probably are, we don't. We're not probably. We definitely are not going to put up a hoop barn. Not going to happen. Just, I can't really explain why, but that's not going to fit for us. Could you please explain the concept change and how you are selling seed? Not right now. I can sometimes. It's sort of hard to do. But essentially it's a by the bag price or by the acre pricing instead of a by the bag pricing. We've eliminated some of the artificial deadlines and triggers that don't make sense as to how people farm and how we should be buying seed. It allows people to make decisions when decisions are supposed to be made. It allows them to pay for it when it makes most sense to pay for it for their individual operation instead of when the seed company says you have to pay for it. And it makes it so that we're doing the right things agronomically instead of being price conscious, if you will. So it's really hard to explain and it would take me a long time to try and get into the details right now. Is Brock ever going to come back, and are you looking for more help since he can't come as much? I don't know. I have not talked to Brock in like 2 weeks. I don't know if he just has been busy, if he got burnt out working too much this fall, if he needed a break, if he quit because he hates his boss because I'm such a jerk to him, if he's rich enough he doesn't need a side gig, if his girlfriend made him quit. I don't know. I don't know if he's coming back. No, I'm sure he will. He just hasn't. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not really looking for more help, so no. But we'll see how things go. What's your thoughts on semi-trucks over wagons? Semi-trucks every time over wagons. Wagons are slow, and no, we're going to use semis. We do use semis. Apple, pumpkin, and Saskatoon berry pie. All right. No fries this year. Fries. I don't get that one. Worth the time out. When you replace a part and it's not the issue, do you always have to keep the old part just in case? That would make me so mad. Have a great Thanksgiving. No, we don't always keep the old part. Some of the parts that we've changed on this tractor, like ECU, was causing other issues that it fixed. So it was still bad, it just didn't fix all of the problems that we were seeing. Or like an EGR cooler that was puking antifreeze into my engine was bad, but it did not fix my exhaust problem. So yeah, it's not that we're just throwing parts at it to try and fix a problem and we can't figure it out, because you're right, that's kind of wasteful. Does construction equipment ever get considered on a wish list? Yes. I tell Dan to go buy an excavator all the time. But Dan's kind of cheap. He doesn't want to buy an excavator. He's got a backhoe. All right. To do more land management projects yourself, or just can't ever justify the time and money and time. Yeah, it's hard to justify money on construction equipment that's not directly related to doing the field work that produces a crop. That said, I think we could justify an excavator. The problem is we don't have a trailer to transport an excavator. And so to jump into that stuff, it's a lot of steps. It's a big leap to get there. Worth it? Yeah, probably, but we just never have done it. No planted late due to wet spraying or, oh, not double crops, just planted late. Wow. Well, congrats on finishing up. That's good. New prescription. I told her you're lying that the best RX doesn't come from a doctor. She looked at me like I was an idiot. You have to show her the shirt. You can't just... See, when all right. When I came up with that shirt, I almost didn't launch it or didn't move forward with it because I'm like, does this make me sound like a drug dealer, right? The best RX doesn't come from a doctor, like you're buying your fentanyl from your buddy down the street kind of thing. I don't know. It kind of gave off weird vibes to me, and I'm like, I don't know, but I rolled with it anyway. Nobody said anything like that to me, so apparently I was the only one that thought it. But yeah, I definitely had that thought of, does this make me sound like a drug dealer? Maybe. I want to move to New Mexico. Have fun. Hey, Arthur, thanks for another super chat. Really, man, I'm getting to your comments. You don't have to keep doing that, but I do appreciate it. Does the 8RX ride as nice as the 8R? Yes. The cab suspension on the 8RX makes a really big difference. The suspended front axle, or the ILS, on the 8R makes a big difference, but the tires are still rough, and the back is still a straight axle with no suspension whatsoever, other than the tires. And because the tires have such a small footprint, they feel every bump in the fields and rut and depression and stuff, where the tracks tend to bridge some of those gaps and float over it a little bit better. So yeah, the 8RX definitely rides better. It's probably not as smooth as you might think. I hear the two tracks ride better in the field than the tires do, and probably than the 8RX does, but it's definitely a nice ride. tomorrow's video, the one that I'm filming today, I do a deep dive into the cost of new tractors, specifically 9Rs, because you guys keep telling me to buy a new one. And we get into some of the options and the cost of everything. So you got something to look forward to in that one. John Deere's not going to like me airing all their pricing, but it is what it is. They put it on their website, so I assume most of you will be astounded by the cost of new equipment and what it would take to trade this tractor for something new. So, something to look forward to. Plant them big trees. Okay. Brock gets a girlfriend and never comes anymore. True. True. Did you get John Deere tractors in the USA? Yes. What do you think about the John Deere 9230? We never had a 30 series, 930 series Deere tractors, so I don't know a lot about them. I think they were pretty decent tractors, but that's a 15-year-old tractor at least at this point. So, and a 9230 is not going to have a ton of horsepower. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I'm sure it's a fine tractor. Gonna get dark on us. We probably better wrap this up fairly soon. Trying to get caught up, but I don't think I'm getting there. Did the new point survive all the tillage? Yeah, I mean, we went through 2 sets this fall, but that set you guys saw me put on a while ago is the same set we've got on there now, and they'll run for a while yet. So, there we go. Yeah. We have hot water power wash. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not cold. Any channel sponsorship inquiries? Was hoping the growth this fall might have got you some options. Nothing serious. I get some random stuff all the time that I'm just like, I'm not doing this. Museums in Seattle that want me to come out. I'm like, why? Why are you sending me this? No. Just dumb stuff. So, not really. But that's okay. Can you do office tasks or something productive on long fields? Seems like there's a lot of wasted time sitting behind the wheel watching dirt turn over. That's why we need autonomous tractors there. But, I mean, I could. I've got my iPad in here somewhere. And occasionally we'll do some seed stuff, make up some quotes or something like that. But I spend most of my time scrolling on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and talking on the phone or whatever else. 2 tracks are not my thing. I've had 2 and didn't like either, but I'm also in a wetter area. I have heard with the 2 tracks, if you get into some mud, especially on one side, you'll get one track to slip, and then you can't turn, or you can't even drive straight. It can be a problem. I don't have any experience with that, but I have heard that. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Michigan does suck. Thank you. I'm glad I have some support. Not just the price of tractors. Look at the price on pickup trucks. Yeah, I have been looking at the price on pickup trucks. They're actually getting more reasonable than they were a year ago. I don't know that I'm going to buy one anytime soon, but they aren't as outrageously expensive as they were last year. They've come down some. I'm hoping the tractors follow suit. I saw a Machinery Pete article the other day that said planter prices have plummeted, which is, I mean, I'm kind of in the planter market a little bit. The planters I've looked at have not plummeted. One thing I don't know is how much the dealers are willing to negotiate on the stuff that's in their lots. Like, if a dealer's got a planter on their lot that they've got a price tag on of $500,000 or $400,000 or whatever it is, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, they wouldn't have come off that price. Like, the price they've got it on their lot for is the price you were going to pay if you want to buy one. There's no negotiating. I wonder if that's still the case. Is that $500,000 planter really a $450,000 planter? Is it a $400,000 planter? Is the $400,000 list price one really a $300,000 planter? And you just got to go talk to them? I don't know. The only YouTuber that does good shop work videos. Thank you. I try. We got a Dragco GT, great head, but disappointed in some quality of things lasting. Yeah, you'll have that. Do you ever run Fendt tractors? We do not ever run Fendt tractors. I don't really have a Fendt dealer anywhere close. The one that was close, that just recently closed up shop, treated me like crap the one time that I went in there, so I never bought from them. I hear there's a new dealer chain in the area. We'll see if they ever come out and want to deal with me. I'm not opposed to it, but it would take some work to get me to buy a Fendt tractor. Will there be a video on Thanksgiving? Most likely there will be. I am working tomorrow. I will probably make a video. It just depends on what all we've got going on. It might be a washing day. It might be a rain day. It might be a seed warehouse day. I might go put some lights up at church. It might just be a hangout with family day. And so kind of depends on what we got going on. Thanks for the videos. Adam, thank you. That's very generous super chat there. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Custom farmer, we have run a Fendt 1042, 2 Fendt 930s, and manure tanks that we haul. Work amazing for us. Nice. Seems like the bigger it is, the better price they will give you on a planter or something at Pullman. Yeah, that could be. Where are you? I am in Northwest Ohio. Right now we're about 10 miles west of Toledo. About a mile south of the Michigan line. Hey, did we catch up? Is that everybody? Not quite. Pretty close. Need to see an RT this spring. Yeah, well, I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think John Deere's in the demo giving mood, really. Well, John Deere's can't be worked on or diagnosed without a computer either, so that's just common in the industry. Yeah. Prices on something has plummeted and still $500,000. That is true. Do you get money from lives? I do get some money from lives. It's usually about a third of what my regular videos get, if that. Now, when you guys doing all these super chats is very, very generous, and that will help make up the difference there. But I don't get money from the live views so much. I don't know. Are you guys seeing any ads? Did you have to watch an ad before you joined the live? Because if you do, then I get paid for it. After the video is posted and the live is over, the people that go back and rewatch it or watch it for the first time, they get ads just like if it was a normal video, and I make the money off of that. But it's not nearly as much as what a regular video does, so, which is fine, you guys. I'm not in this YouTube thing for the money. It's fine. I get enough to make it worth the time and effort. I very, very much appreciate when you guys do give me a little bit and the money that I do make off the ads, but don't not watch the videos or watch the ads specifically for me. Like, we'll be fine. So, thank you. Any thoughts on having a visitor day? I'd love to come out on my motorcycle. Not really. That's a hard thing to do, to open the farm up to a bunch of strangers from the internet, right? So, I understand that. Sometimes when people email me and try and set something up on a one-on-one basis, I make it happen. Sometimes I don't. It just depends. Yesterday I got a phone call from a guy trying to help me with my tractor issues that I don't know how he got my phone number, but he did. And I mean, it's fine. He was nice, but I can't be fielding phone calls from you guys all day either, right? So, yeah. Has the 9R done a regen lately? Not today. We did that one last night, right before we quit. That was the last one. So, run all day today without a single code. We're in great shape. Yes, ads. Yeah. Okay, no ads. So, If you see ads, I get paid for it. If you don't, I don't, I guess. I got both answers there. Any word on the F12? Nope, but I haven't called either. Clicked on your Amazon link prior to placing an order the other day. Too bad I didn't know about it last week. Would have made a whole $1. Nice. Thank you. Yeah. If you missed that one in the last live discussion, there is an Amazon link in the description on all of my videos that if you click on it, it takes you to a generic Amazon homepage, and you're like, what the heck is this? Right? Well, there's a reason for that link, and it's because if you click on it and then buy anything within the next 24 hours, I make a small commission on it. It doesn't cost you guys any more. They kick back a little bit to me because they think that the only reason you're shopping on Amazon is because I told you to. I know that's not true, but I do get a little bit off of that. So as you're doing your holiday shopping, if you click on the link in the description, that helps me out. Occasionally when I have products that I'm using that I bought off Amazon, I will put the link to the actual product in there, and those links work the same way. You click on the link to a product and you buy that product, I get a small commission on it. Anything else you buy in that same cart or within 24 hours, I get a commission on it too. So it doesn't have to be the generic link that you click on. It can be on any Amazon link of mine. So anyway, there you go. Are you taking a vacation sometime in the future? Yes, kind of. My wife and I have got an anniversary trip planned. Ads only at the beginning and not during the live stream. Yes, that's what it should be during the live. You usually have to watch an ad to join, and then none during the live the rest of the way. Greetings from Holland. Nice to watch the live stream while I watch our newborn twins. Nice. Hey, congratulations. That's awesome. Get some sleep, man. John Deere screwed themselves on how they're treating us customers. Moving to Mexico didn't help either. Yeah, that Mexico thing got blown out of proportion. Do you know what they moved to Mexico? It's like, it was like skid steers or some landscaping thing, or it's not ag equipment. It's not like they're taking tractor and combine production to Mexico or anything that's really used on farms. I think they blew that way out of proportion. And frankly, I think that the John Deere union voted themselves out of a job when they went on strike 3 years ago. And what did you expect to happen? So, all right, it's about this time. Turning all lights on. We might need a light in here so you guys can see me. Yeah. Anyway, on the John Deere thing, the only thing I will say is that new equipment prices can't keep going up like they have been. At some point, this has got to regulate and either plateau for a long time or come back down to reality. And I know they're never going to reduce list prices, so maybe it's at the purchase level and they have bigger discounts or better discounts, or I don't know. But I don't know how anybody can afford the new equipment prices that are out there right now. I mean, we don't have McBee money here, so yeah. Maybe a pain to make shorts and maybe not much money in it, but I have heard others comment that it can increase their exposure and viewers. Yeah, I've tried doing a few shorts. I'm not very good at it, you're right. I put so much content out in the long form that it's hard for me to get into the shorts. What I try and do is when I have special segments, like the drone footage in the fall of the equipment or GoPro footage or that kind of stuff, I try and edit those into shorts. I make next to nothing on shorts. Like, I think last month it was $1.37 I made on shorts. It is not worth the time and effort that I put into getting that stuff together. So I know, probably something I need to look at more, especially since I can cross-post that stuff to Instagram and Facebook and maybe make a little money over there as well, but those aren't worth much either, so yeah. Let's get an Uber Eats delivery to Nathan. Yeah, I've thought about that before. I wonder if I could get a delivery to the tractor. I don't know. I went and got lunch at 2 o'clock, so I'm good. Don't send me any food right now. I'm good. But a few years ago, Domino's was advertising this anywhere pizza delivery, like you could drop a pin on a map, and they would deliver to that pin. I'm like, I wonder if I could throw a pin in our field and have the Domino's guys show up, because that would be awesome. I would love to do that, but I've never tried that. Everything up to Waldron is too far away. Here at Berkey is where it might possibly work, because like we're as far away from the food here as we get. But the first field we did yesterday was literally 3 or 4 miles from all the fast food restaurants. So I could get something delivered there. Somebody bring me a pizza. That'd be awesome. Wait till I get drone delivery. Dang it. Guys distracted me. Forgot to put the ripper down. Now we gotta bag it up. Bag it up. Drop it. Go. There we go. Okay. It'll regen on your last pass for the night. Usually how it goes for me. It might. So, I called the tech this morning on the way down here just to sort of talk through the last couple of days with him and let him know how it was acting and what it was doing. And also because I was curious how he wants me to leave this. Like, we had the situation earlier in the year where I did a parked regen and I wasn't throwing the codes anymore, and they came down and they're like, well, we can't do anything now, there's no codes. Okay, so do I need to leave this in a state where it needs to regen but can't? Otherwise, you guys can't work on it until next spring, or we gotta let it sit there and idle until it starts to regen, or what are we gonna do there? And he's like, yeah, I don't want you to hinder it or hold yourself up to the point where you can't get done, but if you can make it not do a regen until we get it back to when we're working on it, that would be helpful. So I actually have, when we started this field, I have disabled the automatic regen. So it's not going to do one the rest of today. As long as it doesn't start throwing codes at me, which it hasn't even told me it needs to, or that it can't because it's disabled. So it wouldn't have called for one yet anyway. But that should make it so that when they come to work on it, they can actually see something. So hopefully we can run for the next 3 hours and get through, and it will be just needing to do a regen, but not actually able to do it. That's the ideal situation here. Smaller in viewers allows you to handle this volume of interaction. Yeah, I will give you that. If I was bigger, I would not be able to read every comment. There's no Casey's close to me here, Steven. We don't have any of those here. They're just west of us, but not here. House propane tank paint holding up. I need to repaint my tractor soon and was looking at that brand of paint. It's okay. Where I did not get it down to bare metal and there was still some rusty flakes of paints from the previous paint job, it's starting to rust through or chip a little bit, crack. But for the most part, it still looks good. Trump gonna make John Deere pay for moving to Mexico? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Ripping is probably the slowest thing to do on the farm. Right, definitely ripping is the slowest thing to do on the farm. This is I don't know if I like that. This is the narrowest operation that we have, and we pull it basically the slowest. So yeah, it takes more time to run the ripper than anything else that we do. Harvesting corn is a close second, but corn harvest we're 20 feet wide versus the 18 feet wide here, and we can run about the same speeds, maybe touch slower. the thing with corn harvest is we can't work as long hours and as continuous. We shut down more, or we don't start as early, or we quit earlier, or whatever. So I can actually cover more acres in a day with the ripper than I can with the corn head. But acres per hour, they're probably actually pretty close. They made shorts 3 minutes now. Okay. Not a fan of the shorts. Well, good news for you, Arthur, is that I have never made a short. I shouldn't say never, but I rarely make a short that is not already in one of my long form videos. It's not different content, it's just in a different format. Wonder if an 8RX would fit through a McDonald's drive-thru. Nope, it's too tall, won't do it. I've ordered Uber Eats to the tractor once. Nice. Remember the Domino's ads you're talking about? I did, so going back to the Domino's things, I did one time have them deliver a pizza to my kid's soccer game at the park. We had both kids playing back-to-back right during lunchtime, or I think it was dinner time. And so I'm like, screw this, I'm getting a pizza delivered. So I did. I had them deliver pizza to the park. All the other parents were like, that was a really good idea. Yeah, it was. Don't forget to drop the ripper this time. There we go. Alright. Kip puts out way too many shorts. Who's Kip? Kip. I feel like there's an ag YouTuber that's a Kip, but I can't place the name. The only one I can think of is Kip Colors, the soybean guy from Missouri. That's not what you're talking about. Paid for YouTube Premium, best money I've spent. Nice! I get money from the YouTube Premium, so thank you for that. You got a pond to fish? I'll bring a steak. I do not have a pond to fish. No pond, no fish in our little itty bitty pond, and no real pond. How come you don't have a dog? Well, because I'm a Scrooge, that's why. We've had dogs around the farm, when I was growing up most of the time. We have not, however, ever had a dog in our house. Never had a dog in our house when I was a kid, and I refuse to have a dog in my house now. My wife and I built a brand new house with brand new carpet and floors and everything and furniture, and the last thing I want is to have dog hair everywhere and to have to smell dog. And it is not worth it for me. I would consider getting a dog if it was an outside dog and it stayed outside. But I'm not having one in my house. Nope, not doing it. I love being able to get on the floor and play with my kids and wrestle them and do things and, roll around on the carpet. And the last thing I want, crap. There's our exhaust filter code. Exhaust filter is restricted. Continue operation will result in loss of machine availability. Auto filter cleaning disabled. Enable auto filter cleanings on the engine settings page. Alright, so it wants to do a regen. The question now is, I have 40 acres to do. I have 43 acres to do. Can I finish that without doing a regen, or do I let it do it now and know that I can finish? 40 acres is going to take me a while. I think we're going to have to let it do it. Dang it. If I would have made it another 2 hours, we'd try it, but having 4 hours to go, that's not going to work. So we're going to enable it. I'll get back to that dog discussion in a second. We're going to come in here, we're going to hit auto, and that icon's going to come up, and now it's going to derate our power in a minute. It's going to start burning and trying to pump fuel into there and make it really hot, and eventually there's going to be a sensor come on exhaust pressure circuit fault, and it's going to derate our power. How long is it going to go? Maybe it's a temperature related thing. Maybe we got to get really hot before that sensor goes off. That's interesting. Could be a resistance in the wire issue if it's temperature related. All right. Well, we'll keep talking about a dog while we wait for this code to go off. Anyway, the last thing I want to do is crawl on my floor and come up covered in dog hair and smelling dog in my carpet. And, it just disgusts me. And so I'm not going to have a dog in my house. And if my kids want to have a dog outside, we'll talk. If my parents want to get a dog, it's fine. Exhaust pressure sensor fault, there it is. Engine power limited, active exhaust filter cleaning unavailable, except for it's still doing it. Continued operation will result in loss of machine availability. Engine power derate. Well, it's still pulling hard. You actually going to derate? See what happens when we turn around here. So what I expect to happen here is for that light to come on, to be on for about a half an hour. It's 5:41, so a little after 6 o'clock, it'll finish its cleaning, and we will have to restart the tractor to make it go away. Yeah, now we're derated. So now this bar won't go past that spot. It won't go out to the end or past like it was. What are you gonna do? Not ideal, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's the dog story. Why did you all spray your corn stalks for weeds and then work also? Because the weeds that we were trying to spray weren't going to get killed by the disc. And this takes them out so they're not there in the spring. That's why. It works. We've done it for a couple years. It works really well. So how many more acres to go to finish? 43, 42. I prefer normal length videos, 20 to 30 minutes, and the live streams. Yeah, that's good. High-speed disc gaining any market. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them around here. I would consider our Landall to be a high-speed disc. I know it's not what you mean. You mean a compact high-speed disc. Yeah, all the neighbors have one. Someday we might too. I don't do that, but I know what you mean. Sigler, Kip Sigler, got it. Yes, I knew I recognized that name. He's up in Michigan, just north of Detroit, I think. Thank you. Anna's home for Thanksgiving. Can you get an update from her and share on YouTube? I'm hoping to, yes. Is it common for people to leave tillage until harvest is complete in their area up here in Minnesota? Too worried it will freeze up, get the ripper caught up. No, I wouldn't say it's common, and we didn't either, right? Dad was running the ripper a lot when we were combining beans. We had gotten a lot done. There were some people around that waited this year because we were so dry during harvest, they thought it was too dry to do tillage. And frankly, we waited on some on that too because, especially disking the corn stalks, it was too dry. We weren't going to move any dirt and they were just going to blow away. The ripper probably could have kept moving a little bit more. Our issue was manpower. We were short help. Days when Brock was here, Dad kept the disc ripper moving. Days when Brock wasn't here, we all had to be on the harvest crew and get the corn shelled because harvest is the priority. And so we'll never shut the combine down just to keep the tillage moving. But we try and do them together as much as our labor situation allows. Government stronghold. I don't know what number Jimmy John's is your go-to? 11? Country Club. I think it's 11. Anti-full bar, technically a power bulge. Ain't full bar, technically a power bulge where it's at now. It's only running at 510 volts. Well, it's past the bar is the power bulge. The full bar is the 510 horse. I forgot I disabled regen on the combine once and it made it do a 30-minute park regen to get out of derate. That was annoying with harvest related. Yeah, well, we've done enough park regens in the last few weeks with this tractor that I know how it works. It'll warn you. It'll tell you. You better do it. So I'm letting it go. Watching from Australia. Great explanation of crop productions. Thank you. Oh, there's Uncle Ron from Rotunda West in Florida. I haven't talked to Dad much today. I think he's doing a little better, but yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really seen him. You ever explained why you go with a disc ripper instead of an inline V ripper? Well, because inline V rippers don't bury residue, and they go way deeper than we need to go. And inline V ripper is, or inline or V ripper. Okay, I was gonna say that's not the same thing. Those are two different tools. But yeah, you said or. You're from San Francisco, right? Can't know. We don't feel the need to use the deep ripper tillage, and we like to bury the residue and loosen the soil up on top to make it warm up more in the spring. So that's why. ECM issue, wire harness, partial plug turbo, EGR, cracked intercooler pipe. Gotta love EGRs. I've deleted mine, no problem, since 2017. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to do that. I'm not sure what's causing that code, but we're going to figure it out. We'll get there. I'm wondering if it's a resistance in a wire because of the temperature issue. I don't know. Could you just be due for a new particulate filter? Yeah, that's a possibility too, is that we change the particulate filter. The dealer doesn't seem to think that would cause this issue. And he said it was because when he had his laptop hooked up a week or two ago, after it finished doing its regen, the pressure differential between the pre-filter and post-filter systems was within a tenth of a point or something. Like they were virtually identical. And if the filter was plugged even after doing a regen, you would still see a differential there. So he didn't think that was the problem. I don't know. I'm not the expert at this, and so I'm going to default to them and trust their expertise. I have a really good tech. I really like the job that he does, and so I trust him. Okay, we got to wrap this up quick because I got a basketball game to watch. And, on that particulate filter side of it, I looked it up yesterday. It's $8,200 for the new particulate filter. I don't know if there's a core charge that comes off of that. There could be. And I've heard that we can take them like to a truck shop or something and get them cleaned. I would have no idea where to do that around here, but I'm sure we could do some research. Ron will be running the cart or ripper before you know it. Yeah, maybe. We got a few years yet, probably. I would say 4 or 5 years before he's 5 or 6 years before I would trust him on his own. And even at that point, it's going to be a few hours here and there, not something reliable, but yeah. Love dogs. One of my dogs more than most people. I'm not saying I hate dogs. I wouldn't mind having a dog. I'm just not going to have a dog in my house. Thank you. Corrosion can walk up wires. Yeah. If the particulate filter was plugged, the tractor wouldn't pull as good as it does, even derated. Maybe. Did you get done VT the corn stalks? Yes. Corn stalks are done. How's your church doing? So many small rural churches are dying around here. Hey, thanks for asking that question. The church is doing okay. We just found a new pastor after a 2-year absence, or it's been 2 years since our previous pastor retired, who I liked a lot. I think most of the congregation did, although I heard some not so nice things after he left, but that's beside the point. It's been a struggle without having a full-time pastor there and having an interim that comes a couple times a month and then just doing our own thing, filling in the other couple of times a month. So it'll be really nice to get our new pastor fully in place. Part of our challenge at the moment with him is that he is a Canadian citizen and lives over by Ottawa. or somewhere, maybe Toronto area, Ontario. I know he's in Ontario, but it's east somewhere, 10 hours or so away. And we have to do the whole immigration green card process to get him here full time. And we're about 3 months into that. They told us it was a 3 to 8 month process. So we don't know when we're going to get him full time, but he comes and spends a month here, and then he has to go back to Canada and back and forth in the meantime while we're waiting for all the paperwork to come through. So it's good. It's a step in the right direction. Hopefully we get some people to start coming back and things go well. But financially we do pretty well. We have very benevolent members. We just struggle to keep our attendance up sometimes, as most churches I think do. However, we have a great youth program in our church and a great youth director that does a fantastic job. So, yeah, thanks for asking that question. You can clean them, but yes, there's a core fee. Yeah, I figured. I don't think it's rocket science to clean them. I've seen them pressure washed. Really? I thought they had to get like baked at super high temperatures, ceramic, and then shake the ash out or something. I don't know. Have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the game. Thank you. 8,200 for a filter. Yeah. Might as well spend $750,000 on a new tractor. All the viewers said, yeah, right? Exactly. $8,000 for a new filter, or just go spend $750,000 to get a new tractor. Yeah, that's about the trade-off. Okay. I didn't know dogs were allowed at all until plow day. Saw how many dogs I saw there that day. Yeah. When you clean them, you only get them about 80%. Well, 80% would be plenty for me. Just a reminder of Michigan. Yes, just a reminder, Michigan still sucks. Our church is always full. Have a great night. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. We do have 2 services every week, so yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this one. I'm just gonna make sure we got them all. Yep, we're caught up to live. Thank you to everybody that did the super chats for me tonight. That was very generous of you. Very much appreciated. Last one for the year from the tractor. I don't know when we will do another live stream. I usually get to 1 or 2 during the winter. I will try and do more, but they're sort of hard to do when I don't have this environment to sit in. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, appreciate all you guys watching. There will be a video out in the morning, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great holiday weekend, Thanksgiving. Yeah. Night, everybody. Go green. Go Bucks. Michigan sucks.